All right, video number 2. So you should have copied that down by now. And so this is quite nice because it's asking us to actually draw a histogram to represent the data. So we can actually choose our value of k. And so we're going to obviously say that k is equal to 1 because we want it to be the most simplest histogram that it can be. Okay, so that the area of the bars is equal to the frequency of them, of the intervals. Okay, so firstly, when we're drawing a histogram, we have to think about what the class width is and how to calculate the frequency density. So that's obviously the frequency density is your y-axis. Okay, so frequency density is still calculated as frequency divided by your class width. So let's have a look at these. 25 to 30 is a class width of 5, 30 to 35 class width of 5, and so on. 40 to 50 is a class width of 10, and then 50 to 80 is a class width of 30. Now your frequency density is calculated by doing your frequency divided by the corresponding class width, and therefore 55 divided by 5 equals 11 is your first one. 39 divided by 5, 7.8. 68 divided by 5, 13.6. 32 divided by 10, 3.2. And then last one gives you 0.2. So that's going to be a teeny tiny bar at the bottom. Okay. This is really important when you're drawing histograms. You need a couple of extra columns with these in. So you can always add them on if you need to. Now let's have a look what our histogram is going to have to go up to. So the highest number is 13.6. So let's say we can go to make the y-axis up to 14. And let's have a look down here. So we need to kind of go up to 80. I'm probably going to go up in intervals of 5, just because that makes a bit more sense. Here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, so at the top, we've got our thing there. That's absolutely fine. Now we can start drawing our histogram. So in this, all the histograms have colours in them. No. I'm setting a bad example. Histograms shouldn't have colour. Just make sure you're just drawing bars and not colouring anything in or shading anything in. Okay? Ignore the colour in any frequency, in any histograms that are on this in this lesson. So let's get going with our first bar. So 25 to 30, we go up to 11. This is all kind of GCSE revision, to be fair. 25 up to 30, we go up to 11. 7.8, again, I'm just going to have to estimate, really. 7.8 is about there. 13.6 for 35 to 40. So 13, just over halfway we'll do up that square. 3.2 for 40 to 50. And where's 3? There we go. So just above there. That wasn't very good, was it? I'll sort it out in a minute. And then 50 to 80 is 0.2. So that's going to be teeny tiny at the bottom, like that. Okay. Let's see if I can move that one along a little bit and make it look a bit more in line with everything. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so there's my histogram. Now, next part said that, oh no, it didn't say that. Oh, that's all good. Draw a histogram to represent the data. That was it. Okay. Estimate how many students took between 36 and 45 minutes to complete their homework. I think I wanted to do something else, didn't I? Yeah, I wanted to do a frequency polygon. This is the second skill that I want us to do, to be fair. Sometimes they ask you to firstly draw a histogram and then a frequency polygon. Now, a frequency polygon is basically where you go to the midpoint of each bar and you join the midpoint of each bar up with the midpoint of the next bar. Okay, so like that. So we can see the midpoint of that bar down to the midpoint of that bar, and then we'll do lastly midpoint of that bar down to the midpoint of that bar. And that is a frequency polygon. Okay, just to refresh your brain on that, because sometimes they ask you to draw on the same axis a frequency polygon and you draw the lines at the midpoints of each of the bars. Okay, just the second skill that we need to know there. So the next bit, the next part of the question asked us to estimate how many students took between 36 and 45 minutes to complete their homework. So as k is equal to 1, all we need to do is find the area of that section of the histogram, and then that will give us the frequency. So that's a really, really nice thing. We don't have to multiply it by any scaling factor here because we've chosen k to equal 1. So here is the histogram that we just drew. So what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the, where is it? We're going to look at the number of students that took between 36 and 45 minutes. So 36 would be about here, wouldn't it? It's not going to let me draw a nice line up there. Well, 36, I'm going to mark it with a little. 36 would be about here, right? Yeah. And then up to 45, wasn't it? To complete their homework, so up to here. So we need to find the area of the histogram between those 2 points. Now, what is the width going to be from 36 up to 40? Well, it's going to be 4, isn't it? So we get 4 multiplied by the height of that, which was 13.6. And then we've got to add the area from 40 to 50, which is obviously 5. And then the height of that was 3.2, I believe. Yeah. So once you work that out, you get 70.4 students, which obviously we can round to approximately, can I get my little squiggly equal sign? Do I have one? Oh yes, there we go, lovely, which is about 70 students, okay, if we wanted to round it at the end there. Okay, so 70 students took between 36 and 45 minutes to do their homework. Now, an important point that I want to say here is that, okay, so say we're forming a frequency polygon on a histogram. If one of the frequencies of the intervals is 0, you must include it in your frequency polygon, just like it's shown here. So if the speed of the car was never 15 to 20 miles per hour, is that right? It must be. Then you should still show that on your polygon. So really important that you don't miss that out and go straight from 10 to 15 up to 20 to 30. You must go down to between 15 and 20 as well. So that was the second point that I wanted to make. Your third point that I want to make here is that sometimes it won't be like inequalities that give you a histogram. It might be gaps like this. Now, gaps affect the class width. So what I mean by gaps is 1 to 2, 3 to 6, 7 to 9. There are gaps between 2 and 3, aren't there, and 6 and 7, etc. And there aren't when they're used as inequalities. So it does affect the class width. Now, remember, there may be some scaling for things like this still. So let's have a look at what the class width actually is for something like 1 to 2, 3 to 6, and so on. Well, technically for 1 to 2, the class boundaries are 0.5 and 2.5. So the class width is 2. For 3 to 6, technically the lower class boundary is 2.5 and the upper class is 6.5. So 2.5 up to 6.5, and that's a class width of 4. And then the last one, 7 to 9, 6.5 up to 9.5, that's actually a class width of 3. And that is shown on the histogram below. So you can see here how the histogram was plotted at 0.5 and up to 2.5. For 3 to 6, it was plotted from 2.5 up to 6.5. This green box I'm going to move out of the way actually. And then here, for 7 to 9, it was 6.5 up to 9.5. So it does affect the class width. 1 to 2, you need to know is a class width of 2, not just a jump of 1 from 1 to 2. Okay, really important. So let's have a look. If we've got the frequency and the class width, the frequency density is going to be 4 divided by 2, which is 2. For the next one, your frequency density is 3 divided by 4, which is 0.75. And then the last one, your frequency, and we can show this on the histogram here. So your frequency density should go up to 0.75 here, okay? And then lastly, your class width here is 3. And here, let's have a look. Our frequency density is 1. So that means our frequency has to be 3 for our frequency density to have to be 1. Okay? So just an illustration of how gaps can change the look of your class widths and how they actually look in a histogram. So that was skill number 3. So here's an exam favourite. Here's skill number 4. Okay, this is skill number 4, exam type of question number 4. Let me again check what time. We've close to the end of our time that I'm able to do. So maybe just copy this down and get ready for video number 3. I told you we would be taking this slow and that it's a long thing to do and you need to concentrate a lot for it. So this is going to be probably the last video that I do. So we've just done video 2. I'm going to do another video from this point.